Hello and welcome to another episode of Animal of the Week. This time we're looking at the giraffe, an iconic resident of Africa that, as one of its older names described it as, sort of looks like a very unusual camel with leopard markings. Giraffes today inhabit various regions all over Africa, being very widespread over the southern and eastern areas of the continent, and with small populations in the west. These animals still remain in their natural habitats in 18 different countries, with reintroduced populations in another 3. Sadly, giraffes have actually disappeared completely from at least 7 countries according to the IUCN. Giraffes have managed to adapt to live in a variety of different habitats within the African continent, but they most commonly occur in woodland and savanna regions. They're also known to inhabit shrubland and desert environments too, and due to the distinctiveness of the areas they have spread into, the different populations have evolved certain adaptive traits that bring into question whether there should actually be multiple species instead of just multiple subspecies of giraffe classified. Giraffes are browsing herbivores that feed on most parts of plants, including stems, leaves, fruits, and flowers, in addition to twigs and sometimes bark from trees. Studies of giraffe diets from multiple populations across Africa have shown that the animals generally have a very diverse diet, consuming about 93 different species of plants, although they tend to favour a few particular ones. Giraffes are members of the ruminants, and therefore they have an unusual way of eating and properly digesting their food. Like other ruminants, such as cattle and deer, once they have first swallowed some chewed up food, they then proceed to bring the food back up their neck and into the mouth where the giraffe can chew it again. This is an effective way of getting all the nutrition possibly available from the food, as it is digested in compartments of the stomach several times. Despite being primarily herbivorous organisms, some giraffes have apparently also been witnessed licking the dried meat off of bones from carcasses, presumably in order to gain some extra nutrition. Female giraffes become sexually mature at the age of 4, and males when they reach 4 or 5 years old, though it is usually only when the males get older, about 7, that they get the opportunity to mate with females. Gestation in these creatures lasts for approximately 450 days, and when the calf is born, it is already an incredible 1.7 to 2 meters tall, and the newborn will drop 2 meters to the ground as the mother gives birth standing up. Within 15 minutes, the calf can walk and starts to suckle. Calves are usually born between May and August, the dry season, with mating having occurred during the rainy season. Once old enough, female giraffes will usually tend to stay with the herd that they're already members of, whereas males leave and remain by themselves until they can join another group. The most obvious of the giraffe's adaptations is the incredibly elongated neck. The neck is actually composed of the same number of vertebrae as in our own bodies, 7, but the individual bones have become much longer, resulting in the impressive structure that makes this animal so recognizable. Big muscles and strong ligaments are able to keep the neck aloft, and they are anchored to long processes on the vertebrae of the back near the base of the neck, resulting in giraffes possessing humps. A particularly useful adaptation of the neck is the ability for the head to be tilted vertically upwards, allowing for an extra bit of reach so their tongues can access more foliage. Another noticeable feature of the giraffe are the protruding ossicones that are present on top of the skull. These are constructed out of ossified cartilage and covered in skin. In females, the ossicones are much thinner compared to males, and they have tufts of fur at the top. One of the most impressive behaviours that these animals perform is known as necking, in which male giraffes are known to swing their heads and necks at each other to establish dominance. On most occasions, no serious injuries are sustained, however sometimes broken bones and deaths do happen. Apparently, this behaviour only occurs amongst all male herds, and after a fight has ended, it is not uncommon for the 2 males to begin courting each other. Sadly, giraffes are under threat, currently being classed as vulnerable by the IUCN. There is some variation depending on the region inhabited by the many different populations and subspecies or species, since some individual groups are actually increasing in numbers, but many others are decreasing, meaning the genus as a whole is decreasing at the moment. The IUCN identifies 4 major threats facing these animals: habitat loss, civil unrest, poaching, and ecological changes. The severity of these threats change depending on the region of Africa the populations inhabit, though habitat loss is a very damaging factor across the whole continent. As humans increase in numbers, more and more land is being needed for farming, and more wildlife comes into contact with our own species. As the IUCN states, the diverse nature of giraffe populations means that different conservation actions are needed for the many regions, with habitat management and protection by law, as well as involving and educating local communities, seeming to be the main effective ways of defending these animals. Hopefully conservation efforts will be successful and we do not end up losing such an iconic and unique part of our planet's fauna. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you would like to find out more about our world, its history, and the wonderful life that surrounds us all, please feel free to subscribe to the channel if you think we deserve it, and if you would like to see more from us.